Welcome to Click My Project. Let us see the demo of the project Centroid ratio for Pairwise random swap clustering algorithm. Now let me tell about abstract. Clustering is the task of grouping set of objects in such a way that objects in the same group are more similar to each other than other groups. In existing system of this paper, a prototype based clustering in which k-mean clustering algorithm is applied for data clustering. In this system, find the clusters by grouping the prototype obtained by vector similarity of dataset. The conventional k-mean uses Euclidean distance to calculate the distance between data points, which put the restriction on the high-dimensional data. Some data characteristics that can affect the k-mean clustering analysis, which include size of data, noise, high dimensionality. In this paper, we propose a new idea, that is cluster validity index, which can be used to compare two clustering and find the unstable points in cluster. Proposed algorithm uses cosine distance to calculate the distance vector. It is fast and simple to calculate. The algorithm successfully applied to document clustering. This is the flow of our project. First of all, we take the input data set. Next, pre-processing the n data sets. Next, we find out the term vector for each data set and then find out the cosine similarity distance between the data points and clustering the data sets according to the distance between data points and randomly initialize the centroid value for each cluster and compare the centroid values. Finally, swap the two cluster centroids in case of dislocated centroids. This process repeated until the best fit cluster occurs. Let us see the demo of the project. First of all, I select the location of the data set. Data selected, the number of data sets shown to be 10 and data should be loaded into the database. Next, find the vector dataset. Compare the each file into the database. Compare the each file into the distinct element of database. Now let me find out the cosine similarity distance. First of all, pre-processing the vector dataset. Next we will find out the cluster of the dataset. Cluster pre-processing. cluster preprocessed and display the cluster objects. Next, I will show each cluster objects. Next, I will calculate the cluster centroid object values, preprocessing the clusters. This is the cluster centroid object values. Next, I will find out the mean square error value for each cluster. Calculate the mean square error value and shown the mean square error value for each cluster. Now I swap the cluster objects based on dislocation of centroid objects. This dislocation calculated by the centroid ratio. This process continued until the best fit cluster occurs. Display the cluster objects. This is the swapped cluster objects. Now let me show each swapped cluster objects. This is the similarity between datasets. Thank you.